And we are live for another week of D&D, specifically the Pirates of Aurora. Finally back in the world of Aurora. We don't have everyone this week, we have a few people. Seeing as he has his mouth full, I'll end with him and start with, we'll go right to left, true Japanese style. Cait, can you introduce yourself and your character?
I'm Cait, and I'm playing Yama, a male hobgoblin fighter. He is a little bit older in his years, and he loves tea and long walks on the beach.
Perfect. Katie?
Yeah, I play Karu, a simic hybrid with tentacle appendages and a terrible memory. And he probably also would like long walks on the beach if he tried it.
Dylan?
Well, unlike the others, I play a drow. Doesn't like long walks on the beach, just likes bloody murder.
Perfect. So midnight walks on the beach with a rusty knife, I think. And unfortunately, we have no Captain Pauly with us this week. When last we left our heroes, does anyone want to give us a little bit of a recap of what we got up to over the last couple of weeks?
I nominate DB.
Right. Well, we went into the Witchlight Carnival. That was a little while ago now, but our ever glorious, stupid idiot of a captain decided to steal the pocket watch from there. So that's good. So we may have to deal with that later. We then fought a really angry tree. That was kind of wild. Yama threw away his sword, to which Sorn picked it back up.
To which he had a giant mental breakdown.
Yeah, no one was happy that Sorn picked that sword back up, and didn't make a promise. Did not promise. Gave them his word that he wouldn't use it. But his word's not worth shit. So now we're in a village filled with humans, and the sword likes to kill humans.
It's a very face from Katie. Now, what is this village, Katie? Why don't you tell us? You brought the Rothe to deliver to a warehouse a contact of Talia, which was Sorn's sister. And upon arrival, some of the guards have said, "Oh, yep, cool. We'll just go get Senor Altivo. He can show you where these Rothe need to go." And when Senor Altivo came back, he instantly recognized you and pointed at you and called you an assassin. So as we begin this week, the smell of salt water stings your nostrils as you stand on this beach of Verdant. A number of armed guards eyeing you suspiciously. Workers who are in the process of moving cargo to a boat docked, or a ship docked on the south beach, on that south wharf, have all stopped moving to look over at this accusation. Standing before you is Senor Altivo, the right-hand man and confidant of Lady Candelaria Sonovela, and he stands there accusing you of being an assassin, having just been brought over to seal this deal.
I think Karu does that thing where he looks behind him and then he points at himself and he's like, "Do you mean me?"
He says, "I do not forget a face, foul wretch. You have come to finish off my lady, but you shall not. Defend yourself, draw steel. Fight in the daylight."
Yama is definitely going to slide in front of Karu, maybe a little bit, just a little bit. He knows Karu can protect himself, but he's just hand on his sword and he's just going to stand down. You will not harm my friend. And I would love to try an intimidate roll.
Excellent. Let's do an intimidation contest. So I'll roll for him.
Can I pat Yama on the shoulder and guidance for this?
Oh, I'm gonna
Just
need
like
that.
as Yama like swings past me, I'll be like, I could have swore he was talking about me.
You're gonna need it because he rolled an 18 altogether.
Oh, well, then it's impossible, isn't it? I did
Yeah.
roll a 4, so I'm not
7.
too intimidated.
So yeah, it's not too crazy. He sort of his hand is on his sword. He's sort of pointing at Karu with the other hand, and he's saying, "Draw steel, coward! You shall not catch us unawares in the night." And Yama, you've stepped forward in front of Karu and tried to stand menacingly, and I think you do a very good job. You're only one behind, especially with that blessing from Sorn. However, it has not overcome this gentleman. He seems resolved.
I think Karu was just like, if I was an assassin, wouldn't you be dead? Like, I think you got the wrong guy. I don't know you. I don't recognize you.
He says, "You were here but 2 nights ago with a blade at my lady's throat. Now you've come to finish the job. You've brought help after being scared off like a coward. And you come under the banner of peace, bringing Rothe. What deals has Talia? Is this the work of Talia, Brighteye? She sent you to. Does she renege on all her deals this way?"
I think when he says 2 nights ago, Karu kind of, and then he leans into Yama. He's like, I think this might be that missing part of my memory from the last couple of days.
I thought that you were at a party.
No, I don't know where I was. I was in line, and then I was on a boat, and there was a chunk of time missing. So, but I don't recognize this area.
Do you think we can? I don't know what to do. Do you think you've killed his lady? Do you know any ladies?
Karu goes, did I kill this person that you're talking about?
Of course not, coward. You fled into the night as soon as you stole my steel.
Okay. I don't think that's right.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound like Karu.
But I mean, if I didn't kill her, then I didn't do any assassinating, so don't really know what your problem is, mate.
And he points to Sorn and says, "You've brought one of Talia's goons here with you under the auspice of delivering cargo.
Now, I'm no goon.
Thieves and assassins, the lot of you."
Sorn's going to try for an intimidation check and just say, "What's that sword? Murder everybody?" And just like look into the middle distance.
Okay.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, I think Yama is definitely going to look at you very sharply because he knows what that sword does.
No, that's a 6.
You just sound crazy.
Yeah.
Sword's a little bit crazy.
You're a little bit like too wide-eyed as you say it or something.
A 6 does definitely not overcome his 22.
Well,
how do you react to that as you kind of look off into the middle distance, but then your focus is instantly snapped back to his imposing, very cross look?
Sorn's going to like play it off with maniacal laughter. He's going to play into the insanity.
Okay. But with a 6, I think you sound a little bit more like...
I mean, I could do a performance check to see if it is maniacal.
I think we've done the one roll. I think the 6 is where it's at.
Yeah. It's more of a chuckle, just like...
Very good. So you appear to be at a bit of an impasse. Your captain, Pauly, who Timmy's not here, but I will play for him because there's no good reason for him not to be here right now. And I'm going to try and do my best Pauly impression. Steps in and says, "No, guys, you got it all wrong. It's all right. We're here. No, we're here on trade. You must be thinking about somebody else. Come over here. Let us sort out the details. You want Rothe. We've got Rothe. We're here to deliver the Rothe. This guy, he's got a alibi 2 nights ago. All the last 5 nights, alibis. You can ask anyone. He was very visible, public place, whole time. There's a rat on my ship that will swear black and blue. He had nothing to do with it, mate. So why don't you come with me and let's go get these documents signed. Let's get some receipts. Talia's going to be happy with us, and he begins leading Senor Altivo off into one of the main buildings.
Yama starts pulling out some tea. He's like, "Oh, let's go sit down. Oh yeah, I'll make some tea."
So you go with Pauly into the closest warehouse, and grumbling, Senor Altivo goes is sort of led along by Pauly, and Yama. Sorn, you are left there with Karu and the Rothe as you mill about. The guards still kind of eyeing you suspiciously.
I'm gonna speak into Karu's mind. If this gets bad, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad would it be if I used the sword? And Sorn's just like...
Karu's just like, probably not that bad. Maybe just don't let Yama see you using it, though, if you can.
Yama likes tea. I'll buy him some tea. It'll be fine.
Okay. And Karu's just like looking around. He's like, have I been here before? And he's just like, he like goes to start wandering, but the guards are kind of like, nah. So he's like, okay. Yeah. He's just kind of like, he's looking at the body of water, looking at the buildings, and he's like, trying. Oh, actually, Sorn, can I borrow your sunglasses for a second?
Oh.
Give me.
I've got the spare set. I'll hand over the spare set.
Yeah, I need him for a second. And Karu puts them on so that everything's darker. Because he's like, maybe if it looks like nighttime.
Everything's got a tinge of red. Okay,
no, this is not. Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, this is cool, but no.
They're my party glasses, thank you. I put them back in my sash goggles.
Give me a wisdom. Give me a perception check, Karu, to see if you recognize this place.
16.
16. There's certainly some familiar smells. Perhaps this part of the water, this part of the beach. Whilst the area itself doesn't look familiar, as even with the red glasses on, with the bright daylight, nothing really seems familiar here. But the kind of smells you're picking up off this part of the beach certainly smell familiar. But you know what? Maybe that's just the smell of the ocean. You've been in the interior for a couple of days now, or for a day at least, and the Witchlight Carnival, hanging out with these smelly Rothe, these smelly Sorn. I
smell fantastic. What are you talking about?
Maybe it's just the fresh air of the open sea again, which you are so used to. But there is something certainly familiar about the smell here.
Yeah, I think Karu eventually says like, I might have been here before. I mean, it checks out. 2 nights ago, I don't remember anything, so maybe I was here.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't kill whoever they're talking about if it was me, so it's not
we could kill whoever they're talking about, though.
That's true, yeah, we could. Although I don't think I'm a coward. I think his story doesn't check out.
Yeah, no, I reckon he's full of shit.
Yeah, I reckon we could take him on easily. Kill him with the sword.
Okay. Sounds good.
Not right now. Not right now. If we have to.
Okay.
Put it back.
Can I make a mental? No, I haven't drawn it. Can I make a mental note of just like which one was talking? And if it kicks off, he's dead first.
Okay. Yeah, it's very clear who Senor Altivo is.
Yeah. Altivo's gonna die.
Yeah. All right. Yama, you're led away, or Pauly kind of leads Altivo away with you. You join him. You join them, I guess, in the warehouse over here, and are led to sort of a table where Altivo kind of starts looking through receipts, piece of paper, Pauly and him are handing things back and forth as you get time to do your tea ceremony. What does your tea ceremony look like? You're on mute, I think.
Yes, I was. So he's just very precise with his movements. Like you can tell that he's studied martial arts. From his movements are very precise and calm and methodical. And yeah, the tea ceremony is very opposite of a bartender who's, you know, moving really quickly, and he's just slow and yes, precise. And he does pour a cup for each of them, and he doesn't really understand what's going on in terms of like the contract and money and stuff like that, but he's there to like smooth over the conversation and steer the guy's thoughts away from Karu a bit.
Yeah, excellent. Let's have a good check here. Can you give me a what skill would be associated with your tea ceremony?
I think in this instance more like I'd love to say insight, just the way he's steering the conversation, catering the tea towards the man, just trying to really get in his good graces.
Absolutely, yeah. Give me an insight check.
Come on. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. You weren't going to roll anymore. You already rolled one this evening.
I know. I literally said it before we started.
Yeah, that's a nutty one. Is
I think he burns the tea.
Yeah. Oh, I love the tea emote in chat. Thank you, Sullivan Cait. There's another Cait in chat, Cait.
There's too many Caits in this stream.
There's Caits, and they're all tea based. They're all spec'd for tea. Yeah, you. I think with that natty one, well, how would you like to describe a natty one?
Well, I really think he's maybe focusing too much on the conversation. He's really not focusing enough on the tea like he would normally. He possibly burns the tea, and because he's just pouring cups for the man and his captain, he doesn't realize that the tea's really bitter and really undoing all his hard work.
That's it. Senor Altivo sort of picks it up, sort of burns his hand on the cup itself, and then sort of waits for it to cool as they talk more. And he's talking about, you know, the head of the Rothe, where are they from? You know, Pauly's handing him papers that seem to say, you know, that they were, you know, certified, imported, grade A organic.
Yeah, what condition they're in? No battles.
yeah, exactly. Purchased legally, you know, imported officially, and they're going back and forth and kind of just squaring off what they need to square off. The Senor Altivo sort of takes a sip and just you see his face. He's just and he kind of puts it down as if like the tea has bitten him. You can see it sort of left a scowl. The scowl has returned on his face from sort of that initial conversation. He glances up at you, untrustworthy now.
Yeah, Yama definitely like hurries to kind of maybe clear the tea away from him. Maybe he has a sip of his own glass and he's like, "Oh no."
Very good. You do overhear, though, that as things sort of come to a bit of a close, Pauly seems to have patched most things over and organized, and Altivo sort of sends a runner out to start getting the Rothe pulled in and warehoused. And he stands up and shakes Pauly's hand and says, "You may tell your mistress that this deal is now complete, and that she will receive her that she'll receive her payment in full. And if it's all the same to you, I would like you to leave the Sonavella compound immediately. We, as much as you vouch for your companions, and he kind of looks at Yama. He says, "We do not. We have important matters to. We have important matters to underway, and we'll be setting sail with the tide. We don't have time to entertain guests."
Can Yama ask, "Ooh, what are your plans? Where are you headed, sir?"
He looks at you, and then back to Pauly, and says, "Your crew forget themselves, sir."
I think at this point, Yama's just gonna like maybe bow really deeply and kind of scurry away. He's definitely not helping.
Yeah. You rejoin the group as the guards, the workers in the area start leading the Rothe into the big warehouse.
Can Karu talk to one of the guards?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, he kind of wants to go up to one of the guards, and he's like, "Hey, so like, real talk, what did I do? Like, what's the story? Do you actually know what happened? Because it feels like that old guy was just making shit up."
And he's like, "I don't know. There was talk of a break-in the other night."
Wow. Tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, Travis got whipped bloody. He was meant to be, he was on sentry duty, and somehow some sort of creature got in with, and he starts slowing down. He's like, with blue skin and tentacles and a cutlass.
Yeah. That sounds wild. Keep going.
And stole information or maps from Lady Sonovella.
Information or maps, so you don't know what this creature stole.
I don't get paid enough to ask questions.
But you seem to know a lot more than the guy that gets paid more than you. You should really consider a career move.
Yeah, well, I mean, Senor Altivo, he's been in the ladies' service for quite some time. I it's kind of like you got to be born into it, I assume. These big families.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't want to cross her, though.
I could kill him for you.
Yeah, I don't think that would help my career progression.
No,
I mean, you might take his job.
Sorn, time and a place. Time and a place.
Is that
fair enough?
He's like, I've always wanted to know, is that how it works on a pirate ship? Do you just kill your captain and you get his job?
The sword turns around, comes back in. He's like, well, that's how a mutiny works.
And is that how you got your current job on the pirate ship? Or the smuggling
Someone died. Now I have a job, I guess.
What, do you want to be a pirate? Like, do you want to?
R.I.P. Ymir and Rakan. Or who was the other one you had? All the characters you had?
Yeah, let's not talk
It's
about
a long
the
list.
first one. The first one, I don't even remember his name. It was that long ago.
Raging Rolls donating money to Beyond Blue. Thank you very much for that. You can. I will cut you off there. Sorry, Dylan. I'll just remind everyone that we are raising money for Beyond Blue at the moment. I'll chuck the link in the chat there, where you can donate and little bits will pop up. Every donation that was is going to add to the blessing counter for the players here, so they're going to greatly appreciate it. And I know Sorn is going to start donating under multiple pseudonyms to give himself power boosts in the session for the rest of the month, as it is Mental Health Month. So thank you very much for that donation, and for any future donations that come through, I'll try and remember to mention them as well. Thank you. All right, Sorn. Where were we? Yeah, he turns to you, Karu, and answers your question. Do you want to be a pirate? He's like, oh, look, I've always, I mean, don't tell anyone, but I've certainly considered it. But it sounds,
it's pretty fun.
Like the law's always after you. There's a lot of killing and maiming.
You get to kill a lot of people. It's heaps of fun.
Yeah, I mean this job, like, it doesn't pay great, but it's pretty cushy.
Seems kind of boring though.
Well, it is until people break in and hold the lady at knife point, I guess, and then it becomes a little bit too exciting.
Oh, okay. All right. So maybe pirating might be a bit too much for you. That's what I'm hearing here.
I just don't know if I'm up for that kind of life, if I'm to be honest. I've got, I got a lady that I like to see. I feel like if I stayed away from port for too long, she lives in the interior. Just be away from her for too long and just be really tough. Long distance relationships across many leagues of ocean.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, you gotta be a bit loose and fancy free to. Yeah, I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah.
I just you seemed a little curious. So.
Oh, I've always heard the stories. Captain Fortune. All the big names. Especially more in recent times, we've been hearing more and more of these captains, making a big name for themselves. It's really quite exciting.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that wild about that break-in. Hey, hope you catch the guy. walk back and stand next to Sorn.
Sorn's just in his head, talking to the sword.
Okay. You turn to begin a conversation with Sorn, realize Sorn's talking to himself.
Yeah,
but Yama walks over.
Oh, good. And then I think Karu's like, you see him? Are you okay, Yama? Tea not go so well.
I've failed my captain and made a huge social faux pas, but I'm fine.
Look, it's probably not as bad a faux pas as potentially being...
I burned the tea! I
potentially held someone here at knife point and stole something.
Oh, you're right. We should really talk about that. Maybe you need to lay low for a while.
I'm going to snap out of my mental and just be like, it's okay, Yama. We can make sure they don't remember that you burnt the tea.
He really wants to kill people with that sword.
Yeah.
I just want to kill that one guy. He seems like a dick.
Yeah, really should have left that sword in the trees where I threw it.
No, this is just me wanting to kill something. This isn't even the sword. I just don't like that guy. I can kill him without the sword if you'd like.
Karu leans towards Yama, like, he was talking to himself before. I'm assuming he was talking to the sword. We gotta watch him.
I was
mentally talking.
He looked very constipated as I walked over here. So.
Yeah.
I think you and I, let's keep an eye on our friend here because
there's nothing to worry about.
There's like some drool coming out of Sorn's mouth. So do we need to leave Karu, or do you think we could take a look around?
I mean,
it's taking a while for these Rothay to get loaded. Pauly's still off chatting with Senior Altivo. So you're kind of left to your own devices for a moment. You don't seem to be under guard. You are being watched if you're kind of wandering around a little bit, but you're not being held in position or anything.
I'm absolutely Parkaroing of things then.
Sorn's just gonna wander square across the camp and just like check it out.
Can we as we wander, can we keep our eyes peeled for people's reactions to Karu?
My intention is to be like, if I was an assassin here, like trying to like work out what I would have done. So essentially, I would probably end up going to the water's edge and being like, I want to come from the water. I always come from the water. And probably quite inadvertently retraced my path that I actually took, which probably doesn't help anything. But I'm just trying to work it out.
Fireworks, thank you for the sub. That's another inspiration counter on the books for the team here, for the crew.
Ooh, how many do we have?
I think this is your first one. You've used up all yours at the custard battles, and and whatnot. So you have a D8 inspiration and a regular D20 inspiration, thanks to the sub from our old mate Fireworks. Thank you.
Sorn's gonna walk into the glowing tent.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Well, let's resolve that. Karu, you mentioned you're walking down to the water's edge. As you do, you see a lot of people kind of loading up a ship. This ship is unfamiliar to you, but there's a lot of people sort of loading up what appear to be provisions, and even sort of some of them seem to be rolling sort of empty barrels on there. So some crates and barrels with provisions, but also some empties as well, which is potentially strange, depending on how you feel about these things. But you go and people kind of look at you weirdly as you wander down into the water, and like a carefree child, just sort of, I assume, step into the water, so you're ankle deep or shin deep, just to get that real water's edge feeling before you start trying to feel around.
Oh no, I think I completely submerge myself, and I'm coming out of the water, like I'm trying to get into the mindset of okay, if I did do this stuff, which I'm not discounting it, how would I do it? And I would go into the water and I'd be like, I probably came from here, and then I would probably trace around the outskirts of the tent and the buildings, use the trees for cover. And then I'm like, okay, I'm assuming it's one of these buildings at the back. So like I said, I inadvertently am retracing my steps from the time I was actually here.
Yama is definitely looking on in curiosity, but would really like to kind of listen to what people are kind of mumbling or the weird looks that they're giving Karu for sure.
All right. Well, do you want to give me a Yama? Give me a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Karu, what would you we're talking wisdom saving throw maybe, to see if you retrace your steps, or would you like to do an investigation?
I think a wisdom saving throw. I think that makes sense.
All right, Yama. Ooh. Yeah. So yeah, you get to that spot down near you actually get under the water. You can't get under the ship to a certain extent. It's very there is a drop off, but it's it's almost near the base, or near the sand line, whatever, sandbar. But you're able to come up, and you actually come up, sort of float up underneath the wharf itself, and the sound of boots on that wharf is very familiar. The kind of gait of these people, the creaking of the wood. Yama, you over here, and Karu, I think you definitely, as you emerge onto the shore, especially over near the tent that Sorn's walking to, things start to come back to you, absolutely. You start getting flashes of a place like this at nighttime. Leaving from and arriving from this spot, you remember sort of walking up onto this beach and running down the beach and walking out of the water and hurling yourself into the water.
Yeah. I think I run the path.
Okay.
Until I get to behind the building. Yeah, and then I sort of look at the window. And then I kind of come walking back. But in when you've done something wrong, which, I've done many times, and you sort of do that sort of straight back speed walk.
Yeah.
I kind of do that. And I'm heading towards Yama as I do that.
Excellent. Yama, yeah, you over here. Some people giving Karu kind of weird looks, and also saying who the hell is that guy? He's being weird. And then there's
I guess he stands out.
He came in. They came in with the Drows people. You know the one. Yeah, you do overhear with that 15. I think is quite good. You do overhear them talking about the sort of bosun on the ship is getting the gear squared away, telling them where to put things and so on, telling them they have to leave enough space to be able to bring back the heirlooms from the Porvenir. So no, don't put that there. We need we need, yeah, that's the spot. No, we're gonna put the Porvenir stuff there. Yeah, put that below decks. Like you certainly overhear that name mentioned.
And I think at that point, Karu kind of comes up to you and he just goes, "Yeah, I've been here before."
And under what the man said, the captain said, you definitely held a knife to his lady's throat.
Yeah. I don't know if you just saw me running around, but I ended up at the back of that building, and he points to the building at the big building at the back, and he's like, "Yeah, I climbed in through the window, and got up behind her."
Do you remember why?
I think this has to do with that ship in Felky. I told Pauly about it. I told the captain about it. There's a ship in Felky. I do remember
you mentioning Felky, and I've just heard those gentlemen over there who are loading the dock, their boat. They mentioned the Porvenir.
Yes.
Is that it?
I think so.
The Porvenir is in Felky, and they were talking about heirlooms. It sounded like it's loaded with treasure or something valuable. They're leaving so much space on the ship to bring stuff back.
Yeah, now I can't find my notes, but the idea was that the Felky was lost, but it's not or something like that.
Yeah, you said it was on a manuscript of lost ships back at the last port.
Yeah, but it was intentionally. I can't remember if it was these people that did it, but anyway, I'll find my notes eventually. But yeah, Karu's like, yeah, I think the boat that I ended up on after my night of apparently assassinating.
Hey, you're an assassin.
I mean, that checks out.
Almost.
Yeah, an assassin who doesn't kill. Whatever. Technicalities. So the boat that I ended up on, and he's whispering this to Yami, the boat I ended up on after this apparent assassination, not killing night, they were wanting to find this ship that's in Felky. And I'm starting to think that I was the one that found out that information for them.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm starting to think they sent me here. And I found that info out from these people. Because these people are the ones that knew where the ship was. So I think the idea is that they lose the ship. And then when they retrieve everything's more valuable because it's been lost. I think that's the idea. I don't know. I'm a little
maybe because nobody's looking for it or nobody's expecting to find it, that they can get away with fencing the goods.
And no one knows where it is. But
yeah.
Do
we need to reveal this information to our captain?
I mean, I did tell him we should go to get this ship because before I even knew anything, I knew that it had something on it. Because those rich people on that boat that I was on, they wanted it. So, but yeah, hey, apparently I was here. Apparently I was here 2 nights ago. Whoops.
Well, maybe we should get you out of here. Oh well, honestly, it seemed like the captain had smoothed things over. Definitely without my help, but.
Oh, don't sell yourself short like that. Maybe they like bitter tea. You don't know.
He definitely spat it out.
Maybe that's how he drinks tea.
We pan over to see Sorn heading towards this swirly tent. Inside is a lady, long hair, big loopy earrings, and sort of sitting there in the gloom, a number of glowing accoutrement around a sort of spooky-esque kind of tent. As you approach Sorn, your eyes sort of adjust to the dimly lit gloom as you poke your head in. and you hear a voice come from within. This voice says, "Welcome, seeker of knowledge. Do you come for your fortune? Or perhaps a glimpse at your future?"
Sure. Why not?
Please have a seat. And that'll be 10 gold pieces.
10 gold, you say?
Future as rich as yours. Be worth every coin. If you would prefer the 1 gold experience, the 1 gold fortune, we can have a look at that. But
Can I insight check this lady?
Sure.
I want to see if she's on the level with this 10 gold thing or if she's just talking shit. What is with me and rolling 4s?
The
new dice.
I mean, it's weird that someone could have a 1 gold fortune and a 10 gold fortune. That is certainly strange, and you're correct to think that that's weird. But with an 8, it's sort of like, you don't really do divination magic, so maybe it's like cost of materials.
Sure. Yeah, I'll throw a 10 gold.
Okay. She begs you to sit down on a cushion, and let's move you in here actually. Because then when you're inside, the roof goes away. Oh, doesn't go away for everyone else, just you. Okay, never mind.
Just me.
The Twitch chat can't see you inside the tent, so who knows what's going on in the swirly tent.
Anything could be happening.
That's right. So she sits down, sort of closes her eyes, starts waving her hands over a crystal ball on the table. And she says, "I see a dark storm above a volcano. Storm clouds, lightning in the sky. A black cloud looms over you. But from within the cloud, a giant anchor comes down, tearing a gouge in the volcano. And there you are, 1 foot on the anchor, staring up in righteous indignation. Your eyes black. In your hand, darkness, coldness, and rising up, bubbling from the sea itself, the dead climb the mountain towards you, and your choices are to flee higher to the volcano or climb the chain into the clouds above. The darkness weighs over you, my child.
Might have something to do with the new sword that I picked up. We'll see. I really like this sword. The others, they hate it, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of edgy, you know? Get it? Sword, edge.
He looks at you and says, "The great hunger will attempt to be fed. See that hope, perhaps even pray, that it does not feed on you."
That won't happen. Well, good to know.
And she says, "Please do take care. It is Mental Health Month. We should all be mindful of the states of our minds. And perhaps you have some friends that can help you along this journey.
Speaking of friends, I better go join them. And he just walks out.
Yep.
Kara's like, hey, wait, where were you?
There's a fortune teller in that tent over there, and I gesture towards the glowing, ominous tent. She gave her 10 gold. She told me some cool stuff. She told me that creepy sword is actually really good.
Insight check.
Yeah, I feel like it's more likely that she foretold your downfall. I'm going to insight check as well.
Damn it. I have 14.
I'm going to...
11. Ooh.
Oh, no.
I'm rolling so shit tonight.
9.
Oh, yeah.
Can I burn an inspiration on that?
No!
Are you going to burn the inspiration from the subscription just for that? I mean, I can't stop you.
We burnt inspirations for custard.
No, I burnt that fighting goblins, okay? 3 goblins in a coat. Very
Sounds ridiculous.
While you make that decision, Dylan, only you can make that decision as a player. And look, I'm not going to stop you if that's the thing.
No. I'm going to...
There is the D8 bless, although that's probably not going to be enough to fool... You'd have to roll very well.
From a 9, yeah, I'm going to use that bless.
Okay. So D8 Bardic Inspiration equivalent, thanks to the donation to Beyond Blue.
And can I dig deep in guidance myself?
No, because you didn't declare it.
Okay.
In the face of chaos, but not this
that is still a 12. So I've convinced Yama.
Yeah,
I think Yama was the only one that you really needed to convince.
Very good.
Karu just like narrows his eyes and he's like, can I borrow 10 gold?
If you believe me, yes. The Sorn just tosses 10 gold. He's like,
Okay.
So, as you walk over there, walk over to the thing, Fireworks has gifted out a sub, which means we need to do a wild magic surge. Now, we're going to make this. So how this works is we're going to make 2 rolls. The first roll is going to see how hardcore, if it's extreme, moderate, or a nuisance, the wild magic surge is, and then the second roll is a D100. I don't know if I can roll. I roll a D20 in chat. Okay, rolls an 18. There we go. So we get 18 plus 1. I think that gives us an extreme wild magic surge. And the D100 and the D100 is a 50. Oh, okay. All allies within 20 feet of you, so I'm going to say you 3, gain +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls on any ranged weapon attacks you make. It says within the next minute, but we'll say, for the next combat.
Ranged. Cool.
Thank you, Fire.
To attack and damage.
So +2 to attack and damage on ranged attacks.
Does that count as spells as well?
Any spell, I'll say any ranged spell attack, like an Eldritch Blast or something for sure.
You know what you could do? You could throw the sword.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Karu, thank you for that Fireworks, for that gifted sub. I hope whoever got it, I didn't see who got it.
It was me.
Ah, there you go, Dill. You head over to the tent, and you go in there. You see the same thing. You see this lady, beautiful long black hair, big hoop earrings, wearing sort of a layer of many layers of red robes with sort of gold trim, some red and green. It's very Christmassy. And she begs you to sit down, and she says, "What brings you to the Vistana at this hour, my child?"
My friend just came here and he said you did like fortunes and I would like one too.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever it is you do.
Okay. She says, would you like me to look inside the crystal ball, or would you like me to look inside the deck of cards?
Is more fun for you.
She says, well, I've already gazed into the crystal ball today, and
Let's
my mother
do the
always
cards.
said, if you stare at the crystal ball too long, your eyes will go spherical. So,
Wait, your eyes are... anyway, let's do the cards.
so she pulls out a deck of cards. Do I have... Dan has a deck of cards. Dan dropped all his cards.
That went well.
That was terrible. So she... A little bit of Foley work for everyone playing at home. She shuffles the cards. And she starts laying them out on the table in sort of a almost like a north, south, east, west kind of pattern. And she flips a card and says, before she puts a finger on a card and says, this card tells of history. Knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy. And she flips it over, and it is the 9 of glyphs. And she says, "Oh, the traitor. Look for an old ally. They keep a treasure under lock and key. The bones of an ancient enemy." She points at another card and says, this card tells of a powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. And she flips it over and says, and she says, the monk, the salvation you seek is lit by the sun in the house of the saints. She sort of puts her finger over another card and says, this is a card of power, of strength. It tells of a weapon of great vengeance. And she turns it over and says, the Kraken, an underwater force that deals great damage and causes despair to all those who see it. And then she points to sort of the 4th card and says, this card will tell you who will help you. Sorry, no, we already did that one. This card tells you of one that will greatly help you greatly in a battle against darkness. And she flips it over and says, this is the artifact. A great treasure is lost. And it is gone. People have gone searching for it. You will be the one to find it and bring it back, uniting the realm, and that will be your greatest ally against the darkness.
The treasure will be my greatest ally? Or the realm will be my greatest ally?
The realm.
What is the treasure? Do you know them? No, you don't know them. Okay.
No, she says, the cards do not tell me.
They're not very polite cards then.
Well, I dropped them all, that's why. You know? They would have been a lot nicer.
Is the crack in the darkness? Like, Karu is just like not paying attention to like process here. He's just like, so I gotta find a treasure, and then the realm will help me secure. But what is the darkness? Is the darkness the Kraken? What was the Kraken? Why did you have to bring up the Kraken? I mean, seriously, is he the darkness? Is that okay? You're not gonna tell me.
I only know what the cards show me. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Hey, what are you doing here anyway? This doesn't seem like a really successful business venture to be setting up shop on like a smuggler's beach?
Oh, no, Lady Sonavella is a upstanding businesswoman in the Emeraldia Trading Company. There's no smuggling here.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right.
We need an insight check for that one.
Yeah, you don't need to. I guess you don't see much in this tent. Okay, thank you. And he gives the 10. He gives the 10 gold, and he's like, "What did I do?" And he like leaves.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, okay, that was an experience."
All right. What does the party do next? While I pick up cards.
So while that was all going on, Sorn's gonna just feel like to with my 12 deception. Gonna be like to Yama. See, like the sword's there's nothing to worry about. Like it's fine. Like this is all while Karu is in the tent. He's just like laying it on. It's fine. It's great. Like she said it was okay.
Yama has a lot of questions. He's kind of like, so she told you that you could cleanse it with this process that you were talking about, some kind of magic.
She told me I had to feed it, otherwise it would try and feed on me. But my predisposition is more attuned to the blade. That makes sense.
It doesn't sound good to me. You're telling me that you have to feed this blade, and then you're telling me that your disposition, and I know you do have a small penchant for not letting anybody give up. You do have a penchant for, let's just finish them off. So it sounds to me like you and this blade are more of a similar mind.
I'm not going to feed it innocent.
This blade is evil. Did she tell you that you would be able to cleanse and purify this blade with the magics that you told me you'd be able to use?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad.
It could take a while.
At that moment, I think Karu returns to the group. As you hear just the tail end of that, it might take a while.
Might take a while for what?
Nothing.
Oh no, Sorn has told me that the wise woman in the magical tent says that he'll be able to cleanse the blade and purify it with the magics that he told us about last time when we were by the lake with the crocodile on the tree.
Yeah, she also told me I was going to find a lost treasure and the realm was going to be something and there was a kraken. So I don't know.
It's all open to interpretation, I guess.
That rings a little bit true. We're just discussing a lost ship of treasure.
I don't think that's gonna. Well, maybe. Who knows? Does Sorn keep the sword on him, or is it in that other plane?
No. It's bamfed away. He's not holding the sword or anything. Like no one can see it. As far as anyone is concerned, the sword no longer exists because, like, you guys don't know how
because you're all
warlocks work
and have no object permanence.
Yeah.
You know Sorn had it, and that it is now no longer.
We saw it disappear up his sleeve. So
right.
Yeah.
He did remove it from the sleeve when we took the rest, the short rest.
Last you saw him, it was at his feet when he was meditating,
and he was focusing on it. Yeah,
and then it disappeared.
Yeah. So as far as anyone's concerned, the sword doesn't really exist. But
it's the wrong choice.
You guys,
but yes.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't
definitely
have,
still exists.
It's just somewhere else because you guys don't have an understanding of how like warlocks are, and I haven't Sorn hasn't explained.
Yeah.
Sorn hasn't explained how his magic works.
I think that's probably, like Dylan, I'll say that's probably a stretch because they understand how pockets work. So, like, the fact that they can't see it on you doesn't think that I don't think you could make the leap that they don't know it exists anymore.
There is still magic in this world outside
you
of you.
don't understand how my magic works.
Sure. So
what I'm trying.
Sorn has done a thing, and you can no longer see it. He's either put it in a prison wallet, or he has a magical prison wallet that he's put it into.
Exactly. The magical prison wallet, also known as the dreaming.
That's right.
Okay.
Well,
we need to do anything else here.
I'm going to call it the dreaming light because it's Sorn's dreaming realm, not.
it's
Dreaming
fat,
Max.
It's fat free.
Sugar-free dreams.
All right, so you you're without a fearless captain because Timmy's not here, and I don't want to have to play him too much. So, at the risk of it being the ultimate danger upon you, you'll need to make a decision on what to do next.
Sorn is the first mate.
Well, and I do think that we should get Karu out of here because there are a lot of people whispering, and some of them seem to recognize him. So
I agree. We could murder them all.
If you get that sword out,
not an option.
Yeah. If you get that sword out in front of me, Sorn, you're gonna lose it.
You can't take it away from me now. It's a part of me. But I do think you were told you were going to find a special treasure or something, you said? And were these guys not talking about some kind of treasure before?
Yeah, I think we're like maybe walking away at this point, and I was like, I was telling Yama that I figured out that yes, I have been here before, and yes, I am the assassin that they are talking about. And while I was here, I found out that what they're packing up for to go and retrieve is a lost ship from the it's got lots of stuff on it. It's been worthwhile. It's in
Yes,
Selkie.
I heard that it's got heirlooms on it, and they're leaving a lot of space for valuable cargo, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I imagine if I was sent here to essentially assassinate, but I apparently didn't actually do that, I just threatened it, by the people who wanted me to retrieve that information for them, who want to retrieve this ship. Considering what they looked like when I was on their boat, I would say it's some pretty good stuff. It's also listed on the lost ships back at port, like it's on that lost ship thing. So, like,
I think we should make our way back to our boat.
Yeah, I think we got to try and get these guys to it.
I don't know. There are at least 2 interested parties then that we know of who are looking for this same ship.
I reckon we could probably get my sister.
I assume I told the people who wanted me to get that information about it. I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Nah. We could try and sabotage their ship, like these people's ship. I don't know how. Just punch a hole in the bottom.
I do have these, like, Sorn, like, lightly shakes his coat. He's like, I have a few vials of acid.
There are a lot of people around.
Yeah, look, you're right. You're right. I can also just shoot fire from my hands.
I mean, I can go underwater.
How would we get out of here? Oh, true. Perhaps we can
murder.
Just
no.
No. I think Yama literally puts up like a dead hand, like, no.
Okay, fine. Fine. How about...
I think sending Karu under the sea could be a good plan. It would just mean one less hazard for us to avoid as we're out at sea. They do look close to setting off.
I'm gonna, like, Sorn's just gonna look around and look for someone important that isn't the guy that he doesn't like.
Sure. Yeah, you see, I mean, I think you see pretty clearly there's, there's like a quartermaster, your equivalent, kind of, helping, either telling people at the wharf here where to go, what to do, yelling at them to move faster, etc.
I'm gonna, like, walk up to that guy, and I'm just gonna say, "You there? Where you heading?"
He looks up from his clipboard that he's got as he's been, like, marking things off as they get loaded onto the ship. He's like, "Who are you?"
I'm Talia's brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Be off with you then. And he turns back to his clipboard.
I think not. And I want to. Just want to say, I'm just trying to create happy conversation with you while we're here.
He says, "Our business is our own, friend."
I'm just talking quartermaster to quartermaster.
Yes, and you would know. Would you divulge where your ship is going to any random stranger that walked up to you?
if they would bolster our ranks, I might consider it.
Then your captain should have your tongue.
Oh, no. Our captain barely has a tongue as it is. He doesn't need mine.
He says, state your business then. I will not...
I'm just curious. Quite the operation going on here at the moment.
Lady Sonavella's merchant crew is second to none on the island.
I believe second to some.
I will not hear it.
Well, you needed us to bring you some rothe, so you can't do everything.
He says, rothe are a controlled commodity. I do not know of such a delivery.
Exactly. I touch my nose.
But just as I don't ask where such a commodity may be acquired, perhaps you would keep in mind not to ask where we go to upon our travels.
Okay, I suppose. No one among sea dogs. I'll be sure to let Captain Fortune know of this the next time I see her.
Do you want to give me an intimidation check, or is this deception?
Well,
Is Sorn bluffing, or is he attempting to intimidate? It's a bit of both, right?
Yeah. Could I argue persuasion?
No, that sounded like a threat.
Right. Let's give it a go. My rolls have been terrible.
You know what, Dylan? If you want to persuade, I think you have to say nice things.
Persuade him that, yeah, intimidation. I can't. There's no way I can.
You can't say nice
You
things.
can't unring that bell.
Yeah, no, that's a 9. I didn't declare. No.
Yeah, you got too excited. He says, Am I to understand that you're in league with pirates?
I'm in league with other privateers.
Even more reason why I shouldn't tell you where we're headed. If I told you where our heading, you and your sea dogs would come after us, nipping at our heels, sniffing after our scraps.
You guys are all uptight, and I'm just gonna wander away. And yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna play into the murder yet. I'll be good.
I think if you come back up to Karu and Yama, Karu's probably saying to Yama, so I could dive underwater, circle around to the other side. You guys distract them. I could climb up to the side, light my blade on fire, and just stick it into the gunpowder.
Wait, you're still explaining? I thought that's what I was doing. I was creating a distraction.
I don't think that was a distraction, you talking to one man.
I kept him. He was the one that looked like he's looking everywhere. Yeah, he was very enthralled with me and very annoyed. I thought it was very good.
You should have told us that. Because we just thought you were going off to have a conversation with him.
I did consider murdering him,
we were
to
like,
be fair.
oh shit, let's wait till Sorn gets back before we discuss our option.
I think
this is definitely a team effort.
Yeah, I don't know. They're paying a lot of attention to what's going on around the ship. I don't know if that's a good idea. If you think you can pull it off.
Karu, wouldn't you also explode with the ship if you were to shove a flaming sword into some gunpowder?
Yeah, look, that makes sense.
It's a bit concerning that you didn't think about that.
I don't think even I could fix that if you were to, I think if you were that close to gunpowder and you ignited it, there'd be nothing left. And I don't think I can bring that back.
Yeah, I don't trust my throwing arm, so it's not like I could just put one of my... I have a dagger. I can light it on fire and then throw it.
How about this? Good idea. If we double time it back to the ship, swing past, see Talia, be like, hey, look, these guys are going after some treasure. We could probably procure some assistance. Offer up a little bit of the booty. And Then if they put up a fight later, we murder them all.
We cut to, as soon as Sorn says booty, we cut to Pauly going, I heard Talia and booty. Cut back to Sorn.
And Sorn's just like shivering. Ugh. Gross.
I mean, if you think we've got time to do that, these guys seem like they're like raring to go. And I told,
but they look like they're dilly dallying at the same time. They don't look like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they look like they're like getting ready to leave, like they're gonna leave.
I definitely don't think we have time to go back to the ship.
Do we know?
I could kill a few of them to slow them down.
No.
Hang on.
Why?
I think Yama is actually just gonna a little slap on the back of the head, like enough.
Fine. How about? Now hear me out. We steal their ship.
Well, we have a ship.
Yeah, but
there's
we can have two.
only two of us. How would we? Three of us. Yeah,
There's
Yama
four of
can't
us,
count.
technically.
Yeah, we have the big Rothe man. We have Cloppington. There are 5 of us, and we have the captain. I reckon we could do a ragtag bunch of us. We could do it. I reckon all we have to do really is raise the anchor and drop the sails, and the boat will just go. And we can abandon ship a little bit down the ways, and they can't get to their treasure.
Perhaps we could just sever the anchor.
That's a better idea. That is a much better idea.
We just do that underwater?
Yeah.
They're not paying attention
Do you have
to anything
that,
other than filling the ship in a. They're moving at a quick pace.
With the time I've been on the boat, do I have a sort of a basic understanding of how the anchors work and if they would be rope or metal?
True. At this distance, to the seafloor, metal. As it gets so the anchor itself is chain for quite a while, and then it becomes rope. So at deeper levels, it's more rope that would be at the water level. At this depth, though, it is chain all the way up into the ship itself, and you would have seen that as you kind of were hanging out on the wharf with the quartermaster.
I will just say to Karu.
And the ship is obviously lashed to the wharf, so disabling the anchor wouldn't make it.
It's not just going to drift away.
But it would cause them problems later if they don't notice it by the time they set sail.
Perhaps it would be enough.
Do you have anything that could melt steel?
Not on me, really, ever. I guess if we're not going to try and take out this ship, we hightail it back to ours and just try and beat them. Because there's going to be probably another ship going as well. There's at least 2 other parties who are going to be going to this ship in Felky. I think I turned to Captain Pauly at this point, and I'm like, do you know who's closest? Like, are we here closest to Felky versus, like, I can't remember where we were. Where our ship's docked.
Well, our ship's more north side, so it depends when they're setting sail. If we can make our way back through the jungle and get there by dawn, we could set sail on the morning tide. We would certainly be ahead of them. And look, we got a pretty good crew. We've got at least 1 zombie crewman left. Nesbit, not a great contributor in the realm of speed, but I think. Oh, of course, my ship's the fastest in the Isles, and perhaps Damrak here might even know a few shortcuts.
Now hear me out.
No killing.
No killing. No
Hear me
killing.
out. Murder.
What if you guys were to wander off towards the jungles to get out of here, and I were to somehow make my way onto their ship? I think I could do a pretty good job of blowing a hole in the side of it, and then I could out of there. It'd make a lot of noise.
How would you get on the ship?
I'd figure that out.
But
I only need but a matter of I don't know, maybe 30 seconds to bamf on and bamf back off.
Well, I guess it would save us from battle later if you could dismantle the ship now.
I can't guarantee that no one will get hurt if they get close to me when I bamf away. You've seen what happens when I... But I'm not going to hit them with the sword.
That I like.
Unless they try to kill me, then I might have to.
So there was a recommendation from chat, telepoot onto the ship. But we all remember that you sold the spell book that had the spell telepoot, and that actually teleported the sound of the fart, not him.
That could cause all kinds of madness, sure.
I believe I could probably talk my way onto the ship and then just drop a couple of vials of acid and then just...
Look,
I can be very persuasive.
On a different day, sure, but today you haven't done
that
well
man
with
definitely
talking.
didn't like you.
Yeah,
That man doesn't matter. Yeah, he was pretty close to the ship, to be fair. All I have to do is make a break from him, and then I'm on.
Yeah, and all the other people around, you know.
They aren't going to know. I'm quite stealthy when I want to be.
It is the middle of the day.
Yes, that is fine. Well, all I have to do is walk onto the ship, drop a couple of vials of acid down the side, and then just bamf on out, and they won't know where I end up. Like, I can just bamf into the jungle.
We roll like an intelligence check on whether a couple of vials of acid would actually sink through, you know, like, it's probably solid foot of
I know, it's a couple of vials of acid and then a thunder step.
Yeah, so...
Like a great deal of force.
I would say that his idea certainly holds merit, especially if he does it from within the hold. I think, you know, being a layer down. If you drop the vials of acid on the top layer, they'll probably burn through the top wood eventually, but that's kind of superficial damage, right? Maybe it etches a little bit in the second level. Remember, your ship has like 3 or 4 levels, so that acid would have to spend a long time to get through like all of those layers to actually like make the ship take on legitimate damage. The thunder step, absolutely. I think thunder damage especially is kind of like shatter in that it does more damage to inanimate objects. So I would definitely rule that you could cause a lot of damage with that too. Depends what you're standing next to when you do it, right? If you're standing next to a mast, maybe. If you're standing within the hold, yes, definitely a lot of damage. But if you're on the surface of the ship, I mean, you've used Thunderstep on your own ship before. Let's not set a precedent that you are destroying the upper decks of your ship every time.
Every time I want to bamf away, yeah. Although, in saying
I'm
this...
I'm happy for us to start that precedent, but just come back to bite you in the ass.
I could destroy the dock.
That would certainly delay their loading and may buy you time, for sure. Yes.
I could destroy the dock. I just have
would
to
make
get
them leave with less. Like they'd end up having to leave with less supplies potentially.
They would have to form a way to get back onto the ship as well.
Yeah.
Because if they're loading the ship from the dock, they're not going to have lines over the side to climb up.
Not now, no. And
but there are people on the ship that can lower a ladder.
They have
to deal with the chaos.
Yeah, they'd be able to load people onto the ship for sure. It'd be a lot harder to load, crates and boxes and stuff like that. They'd certainly have to make that decision.
Alternatively, do I have anything like a grenade?
I would say that then at least you try and get on the ship, and if you cannot get on the ship, you destroy the dock.
We could definitely give this a go. The more I think about it, the more likely it is that Sorn could die here, and it's a great way to go.
Oh my god.
Characters don't have to die, you know? They just...
Blaze of glory, though.
Just got that sword he wanted, though.
I mean, if I could sneak in and go down into the hole with the vials of acid, I could, like, spread it on the hole. Like I could do
Actually,
that.
I have just realized something that I could also just do.
Right, well, do you want to listen to Karu's suggestion? Or do you
Yeah,
just
that,
wanna
sorry.
that
interrupt
was the
and-
end. That was the end.
Or just want to interrupt it? Okay.
No. Sorn was just like mumbling to himself. He was listening.
Okay.
I mean, the other thing is like the more we stand here and debate, one, they're starting to get a bit tetchy. Like they already didn't like me, and now they're kind of looking at me like.
True, we
you
should
still
leave.
here?
How about we make our way towards the jungle entrance? I think I could probably hit the sails with a firebolt and just set their sails alight, and then we just leg it.
Mm. Yama's not fast. Sorry, buddy. Just gonna point
No.
that out.
Yeah.
So if we get chased, Yama's getting.
I appreciate you. I am an old man.
Like,
Okay.
I'm fast, and you can do whatever the fuck you do with the lightning thing, but that would leave Yama.
That
let's-
is a good point. Alternatively, we could let them steal the treasure and then just come back later and steal it from them.
We do know where their base is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know
this
a good-
feels like a
Yeah, I do know a good way in from the water.
yeah. Like, and in the meantime, like these, like I point to my slippers. These things aren't like they're not working anymore. Like we could try and find a way to make them fit Yama, make Yama a bit quicker.
I do not wish to wear your slippers.
They're the
my
ones that
own
let me
shoes.
teleport very quickly, very fast in a straight line. They're quite handy.
But I do not possess any powers in electricity, thunder,
Yeah,
or
that's
magic.
the benefit of these shoes that's built into the shoes. You rub your feet together really fast on the ground, and then you just go, you appear. You turn into a strike of lightning. You don't need magic to use them.
Well, then are we heading back to the ship?
I believe we could head back to the city and see if we could possibly find someone to do something with these shoes. And they're a terrible waste. I can't. They're just not working for me anymore. They're not responding when I try to use them.
Stretch them all out. They're slightly too big for him now.
Yeah, I reckon if we stretched them out a little bit more, they would fit you. And they'd be useful for you.
So, I'm going to need a decision from the party. What is your plan? You've given me... What,
It's like
three-
five
We're
plans.
all of a
There's like
sudden
5
talking
plans right
about
now.
slippers.
Yeah.
I think we leave and we just come back and we steal it later. Let them do the hard work.
I think it would be really fun for Karu to try and sneak up the far side of the ship and maybe drop a vial of acid through a window or something.
I'll hand over a vial of acid straight away.
So just one little vial. Okay.
It's pretty potent stuff. Don't sniff it. It'll singe your nose hairs. Do you have nose hairs?
No.
Well, yeah, just don't sniff it. It'll rot your brain.
That sounds fun. I mean, yes, I can try this. You guys might need to like try and distract them on the. Go and have another conversation with the quartermaster. He loved you.
Yeah, I will do that. I'll happily walk back over there.
The only
So
problem
I'll
is,
Sorry.
yeah, I was going to say, the only problem is Karu kind of says this as he's sort of walking away towards the water. He's like, if they spot me on the boat, I'm on the boat. And I might be going on an adventure. Bye.
Karu will hear in his head, just as I think Yama's idea was good, just drop the vial through a window.
Just look for a cannon hole.
Yeah, a porthole. Surely.
Well, I will walk away, and I will walk a bit of a ways, and then once I'm sort of like, maybe I'll walk towards like this area with like the trees and the rock,
Mhm.
and then quick little look around, and then I will stealthily dive into the water, and I will do a big circle around underwater because I can breathe underwater. So I will kind of go out and then back around.
And while this is happening, I'm on the other side of the dock, just calling out to the quartermaster, "Yoo-hoo!"
All right, Sorn, this can be a persuasion check. from you, Sorn, because now you're trying to be friendly. Now you're trying to get their attention.
I'm just gonna say, so I believe we got off on the wrong foot. I just want to, do you like wine?
See what this persuasion check looks like.
Persuasion. As a 15.
15.
Why don't you ever guidance yourself?
Yeah, 15's pretty good.
15 is good. So yeah, you kind of offer him some wine out of the many bottles of wine I guess you procured from the
the Fey wine. Yep.
From the Witchlight Festival. At first he's like, "Oh, what, you again?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." And this is thirsty
Been a long
work.
day.
And he grabs a sort of a wooden tankard, and you pour him a glass. He holds it and he takes a sip. He's like, "I'm still not telling you where we're going."
Yeah, no, that's fine. We're beyond that.
Meanwhile, Karu, you're swimming around the sort of back edge of it, parkaruing up the side of the ship. Can you give me a sneak, sort of stealthy check with advantage? Because not only is Sorn chatting with the quartermaster, all the other men on the ship are like kind of looking over at him, going like, "What? Why does he get wine?"
Yeah. I like that. All right. Sorry. Stealth.
And you do know that the
23.
this guy's going to make a perception check. But you are not seen. You describe to me how you want to do this.
So yeah, I kind of like pop up from the water and I sort of start to kind of like climb. I think my tentacles are probably what's leveraging me up. But and as I'm kind of slowly climbing up the side of the ship, do I see anything along the side of the ship that I could potentially access, like a lower part? Like, can I see like a cannon hole or something that I reckon I could just throw it in rather than have to climb onto the ship?
Yeah, there's definitely sort of portholes, sort of hatches that aren't. You find one that's not latched or not closed. There's large enough to crawl through if you want to get into a lower level, but also you can kind of see in there in the gloom. It is sort of a slightly lower hold, though of course there is a deeper level to the ship as well if you wanted to climb in physically and go for a bit of a walk.
Yeah, if I don't see anyone in that lower area, I will definitely slither through that hole in an attempt to get down to the very bottom of the boat. Cool.
Give me a perception check as you get into like the lower level of the hold.
I have the advantage for some reason with perception. I'm just trying. I think it's sound. Can I say that I'm like listening?
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. I need that advantage. I don't have a good perception. 16.
16 versus 15 is not bad. So you hear just with the soft movement of the waves. You kind of listen out. There is a guard or sort of a worker down there dropping, moving things about, lashing goods down so they don't move about during the journey. You easily stalk around him, having seen him, and you do get a lot of flashbacks to the time you were here last, moving silently around the guards. You get into the lower levels, and you notice that there are one of the crates he's just sort of put there is a bunch of empty. Is a crate full of a bunch of empty bottles, which is probably strange, but you're here on a mission, so you get into the lowest bowels of the ship. So there's only sort of you're even hard. Your feet are kind of in the water. There's a little bit of just water at the bottom here, and you can feel the cold of the sea in beyond the wood beside you. A perfect place to drop the acid.
I will drop the acid in the perfect place.
So you pop the bottle. I don't know. I don't want to make. Does Karu still give it a sniff, even though Sorn told him not to?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Almost gives himself away.
You get a -1 to intelligence.
I don't need that.
And you pour it into sort of a pile in a part of the ship that's relatively flat, and you can hear it sort of sizzling, and some acrid smoke starts to kind of build up in the gloom down there. But there's plenty of space sort of down here that it won't be noticed for a while, and you can see the acid starting to eat away at the base of the ship. It's got quite a while to go. It's going to take a while, but you're pretty confident it will eat through the bottom and cause a small leak into the ship.
Yeah, I think when I poured it, I kind of made a point of concentrating it. Like, rather than just doing this, it was sort of like the point was to make a concentrated hole.
Yes.
In the effort that, like, if I say concentrate again, concentrate the acid into one spot, then it'll burn quicker in that spot than if I was to sort of splash it around.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. I think he debates. I think as he comes back out, he looks around maybe for the ammunition stockpiles, and he's just nah. He's like, I got a dagger. No, it's fine. I don't have any acid stuff that I could help with this, so I think I will just sneak back out the side.
All right,
the way I came.
Give me another stealth check with advantage, please.
It's almost 19.
21.
So, 21, perfect. So yeah, you sort of Assassin's Creed Splinter Cell your way back up onto the midship, and you do have to sort of crouch down behind the mast that's sort of in the center, underneath the mast goes all the way through the boat, and you kind of have to creep around as someone goes past you, taking more crates down into the lower levels of the bilges, until eventually you're able to climb out and dive out or lower yourself down through the gunnel hole you entered in.
I reckon because he's a good swimmer, it's one of those like perfect dives that makes no splash. It's just like a noise.
Perfect.
And then I swim way back around and basically retrace my steps.
Cool. You join, I guess, Sorn, Yama, Diana Cloppington, and Damrakir on the sort of towards the entrance of the jungle, or maybe further up the beach, where it's a little bit more jungly, and are able to report your success.
And I'm like, okay, so I poured the acid on the hull. It'll make a hole. Is it weird that they just have like crates of empty bottles?
I don't know. That definitely sounds unusual, as they're packing to leave somewhere, not just coming back from a conquest.
Yeah, like a deliberate crate of deliberately empty bottles. Weird. Hopefully that hole works.
So I want to be like, maybe they're going to get some wine.
Maybe.
There could be large amount, like it's fairly common, I believe, for wine to be transported across the open seas as a form of trade. Why would it, like, spices are a form of barter and trade, so why would wine not be the same?
I don't know, just thought it was odd. Anyway, let's go.
Right. You retrace your steps back into the jungle. Captain Pauly rejoins the crew, and Diana obviously looking very confused about this entire experience. She's a little bit out of her
she was here.
She's pretty quiet. And you make your way back. Now, you travel back to the over the course of essentially the rest of the afternoon, or the rest of the day. It takes you to wind your way through the jungle, retracing your steps, do you pass through Alcide's kind of area? No? You try and you skirt around it?
Yeah, I think we try and avoid him lest we get stuck there forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was weird.
And you, so it takes you the rest of the day. Actually, let me roll some dice.
Although we could go and I could murder him.
Oh my god.
It's not a human. It's not worth it.
Right.
Yeah, it did say humanoid.
Oh,
Uh,
shit, that's why I was in trouble.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Anything fleshy.
yeah, you are able to make your way back the way you came. You are able to circumvent the Alcede's Grove you pass over the remains of the giants you murdered, and sort of the goblins you murdered. Although some, as you pass through that part of the jungle, some animals who had started taking to the bodies are sort of scared away as you come traipsing through. But as the afternoon wears on, you make it back to your ship, moored there at sort of south of the major city of Verdant.
When we get back, Karu looks over to the ship that he, woke up on. Is it still there?
No, you're not in the port town.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's been quite a while. So you didn't offload the Rothe in the city of Verdant. You had to go to like a secret beach to go do that and walk them into the interior.
Yeah, cool. I forgot.
Yeah, so that other boat was at the city port.
Kill.
So the plan is it to go back to the city of Verdant, find someone who can deal with these items, which obviously will take time, or at least going there and stopping, getting through customs again, etc. Or are you going somewhere else? Are you going somewhere else in the high seas?
Well, don't we have to go back via your sister or not?
Yes, we do need to go let her know of a job well done. I wouldn't mind going after the treasure that they're after, but your fortune did say there would be a kraken, did it not?
Do we believe that lady?
Yeah, I don't think. She also said that I would find a long lost treasure and the realm would become my ally or something. And the kraken, she just kind of said it, but then didn't relate it to anything else that she was talking about. And then when I asked her question, she was like, "Oh, I don't know." I was like, "How do you not know? You're a fortune teller. You're supposed to know these things."
What does she mean by the realm? The whole country on your side?
Yeah, that doesn't check out to me.
The whole world?
Yeah. See, I just. Karu's just I don't know. It was a bit of fun. Thought maybe she could help me with my memory. She didn't. I didn't realize fortune telling meant future. Fine.
Well, I think we should just go tell my sister that we've delivered the Rothe and hopefully link up with the others and collect our payment.
And then head
because I believe there was payment promised, and we can either head towards Felky, or I would like to find some information in town if I can.
You remember there wasn't payment for you? It was you were paying back.
Oh no, I know. Sorn's just like wishful thinking.
I mean, you're the only one that was there, actually. Karu and Yama weren't there.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Struck, so I'm just in case Dylan had forgotten, I'm just reminding
you.
No,
I know.
Okay.
He's going to go try and argue. I would also like to find some information about Prismia, if possible, because I did kind of tell Cloppington that I'd sort that out.
Worry that whatever's in Felky, if we don't act fast, we'll go. We will miss the chance. That's
okay. We can. How about what is Dumrakia? Like, I look at Dumrakia. Are you returning back to?
Oh, you guys are my ride, and I can't go back to the city.
Oh, very true. I did bust you out of prison.
Yeah.
Do you want to come to Felky then? I guess
that's close.
We'll wait for
that
home. To cool over.
Yeah. I know where Felky is. It's a couple of days travel from here, and it's a little bit. It's on the way to my place, to Pahinga. So if we want to pop by there, you want to get some lunch or something in Felky, absolutely. And then, a week later we can swing by my place. I can jump off the ship, get my own ship again, perhaps, rustle up a band of cargo movers, and start the whole process again.
Yeah, well, it sounds like we're in accord then.
When the gods impound your ship and lock you in prison, it's really just a silver lining. You know what I mean? It's just
you met
the
us.
gods' way of saying, Tamrakir, time to get out there in the world again.
I'm sure that, why not? Anyway, do you guys have anything you want to add to that? Are we all in accord? We're going to go to Felky?
I'm happy with heading towards Felky. I'm sure it would make our captain happy.
Yeah, Pauly says, right, yeah, whatever you want to do. It's a democracy here. I mean, I'm the captain, but we all vote on it. So, Felky sounds cool. Sorn, I know we haven't been getting to do a lot of stuff you wanted to do lately. Are you all right if we go to Felky?
I'm happy to go to Felky. I feel like it's quite time sensitive, and time does move differently in other realms.
Mate, we can go right back to your sister, but I want to leave her. I want to leave her waiting a little bit. You know what I mean? I want to. You gotta play. You can't be like, oh yes, I'm gonna go do that job for you. I'll be right back. You say that, Sorn, but then you got to leave them on red for a little bit. You know what I mean? You got to be like, yeah, taking care of business, love. Don't even worry about it.
I wish you all the luck in the world. She's got a much more murderous intent than I do.
Yeah, but it's kind of fun, isn't it?
Well, we shall see. And
right.
just at a table level, Pauly might die to an NPC because he's really enamored with her.
What a way to go. I mean...
Yep.
Death by murderous drow.
That's right.
Well, she was
That's how anyone of... She's very terrifying. Someone's unlocked some real trauma.
All right.
He's remembering more and more as time goes on.
5 days travel.
Oh no.
Didn't think about this.
So I'm going to need, as each of you attempt to sleep, some con saving throws for the nightmares that you are undergoing as you travel.
We have a bridge to cross for me.
Because you don't sleep?
I don't sleep.
But
how does it affect me?
Yeah, we established that you trying to do your meditation, you are still haunted by... So you're sitting there. It's almost like daydreams for you, right? You're hearing sounds in the back of your mind. You're hearing, the creaks of the... or the sound of a bottle skittering under your bed. Sounds like the Dryder's feet.
Okay.
Focus on your spells.
Oh, con save time. All right, I'll roll my first one.
Actually, is it con save?
It's I've got wisdom.
Oh, okay, yeah, you've got it written down. Can you read out what it actually is?
Nightmare. Well, for me, it was nightmares for the next 8 days.
Okay.
Wisdom saving throw after each long rest. Failure results in taking 1d3 of exhaustion.
Well, I'm going to say because you rather than get so it is 5 days, but I'm going to say you get 1 long rest over this because you're all staying up a lot. You're trying to keep the boat going 24 hours a day. You're sleeping in shifts. You're not getting a good night's sleep. And I don't want to just do all of them at once, right?
You also don't want to kill Karu in a montage.
Yeah. That'd be
Benny Hill theme plays.
So on the ship, things are a little bit different. You're traveling long distances. You're not getting that kind of normal long rest you normally would in an inn or a tavern. But you can all take or attempt to take a long rest. If you fail this check, you do not get the benefits of a long rest, and you get exhaustion. Alright,
I'll do the first one. That's a 12?
Yeah, what's the DC on this?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
I'll do mine. Oh no.
Oh no.
I got a nat 1.
Oh. So during this time as well, Yama's definitely like tinkering with his teas.
Yep.
And he comes up with a interesting little herbal concoction that he stows away in a thermos. And I think maybe seeing the hardship that Karu is going through, he's just going to pass it to him and say, please, perhaps this will come in handy in the upcoming time. Maybe it will make you better. I would just like somebody to try it. It's my own blend.
All right, so Sorn, you make the DC just barely. Perhaps your mental training, your mental aptitude, your ability to realize, that these aren't real. These are, you've seen things like this. You don't think that there's a physical nightmarish presence around you, like when you're in the dream itself. You could sort of sense those beings, right? These nightmares are visited upon you. They're not a entity that's standing there causing them to you. It's sort of like they're being visited upon you from afar, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And you it gets close though. You find yourself sort of on a knife's edge, tipping into being overwhelmed by these dreams, these nightmares, but you're able to hold yourself together. Karu, you are not so strong-willed, unless you would like to use that inspiration. You certainly don't have to. I'm just reminding you that it is there because we don't have a physical reminder of the inspiration. But if you don't, you need to roll a d3, and that is how many levels of exhaustion you are going to take.
I'm good.
Can I ask a quick question? Sorry.
Sure.
Go for it.
My red gem of the dreaming, does that do anything in this case?
I think you can definitely feel it. Once you overcome your nightmares, you can feel it pulsing as if, similar to the sword, it is hungry to capture these nightmares. But as I said, there's no, you cast your senses out. There's no being here to capture. The nightmares are sort of it's almost like when you project an illusion, you aren't the illusion. Yeah. So something is projecting dreams at you, and they're doing it from afar, from a different realm. You see the symptoms of it, but you don't see the cause. So while I think maybe the gem reacts, you don't think that you could sort of swallow these nightmares per se.
Yeah. Okay.
Should I roll my d3?
Absolutely. Let's see how bad this is.
I'm assuming I can do the little dude in the chat and it'll roll a d3. Whew.
The one. So you get 1 level of exhaustion. With that terrible wisdom save, do you want to tell me what Karu has nightmares about? Or do you just want to send it to me privately if Karu does not share that with the group when they wake up?
I think he would share it when he wakes up.
Okay. Do you want to tell Sorn or Yama what dreams you had after you actually finally get some bedraggled sleep?
I feel like when Yama goes to offer the tea that he's got, like Karu's just woken up and he's crying. And he kind of takes the tea and he's like, that wasn't a nightmare so much as a memory.
Well, maybe this will make you feel better, but would you like to talk about it as well?
Yeah, and he takes the tea and he's like, and he like wipes his eyes and he's like, I used to have a brother and I used to have a big group of friends and they were all kind of like me. We all kind of like fucked around, had a lot of fun. And one time we were actually on a job because we fucked around so much that people actually hired us for that very reason. And on that one job, we were placing mines under an enemy ship in an effort to blow it up, but the mines went off too early and we got caught in the blast. And I lost my
Were you the
brother.
only one to escape that blast, or only your brother was lost?
No, there were 3 of us that survived, but the other 2 weren't great. But I never found my brother. And I had forgotten about that until now.
Definitely a truly horrible thing to relive, and I would not wish it upon anybody to lose a brother, no matter how discordant your views as he thinks of his own brother. But at least now you do have another family around you, and I hope that can be some comfort to you as you do relive this nightmare.
I think I would have preferred to dream about a kraken, to be honest.
Have you ever seen a kraken? I've never seen a kraken. I've never come across such a beast.
Sorn just gestures to Karu. I feel like Karu would have seen one.
Well, Karu and I definitely saw one in the mines.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was bad.
That was
I would have preferred to do that ride again than what I just dreamed about.
And you did not enjoy that ride.
No.
So I understand.
Actually, sorry, Dan, is the part of the Kraken's corpse still affixed to the front of the ship?
Yeah, it's probably a bit decayed by now, but there's sort of like a baby kraken corpse. It's an Underdark kraken, which I'm not sure if that's different. Probably not. But sort of a miniature kraken is affixed to the front of the ship. That's probably decayed a lot by now. And I don't think there's a lot of bone
really
left
smelly.
Yeah.
Some
magic has preserved it. But was this before Sorn's time? I think this was.
Yeah, but I feel like I would have noticed it.
Yeah.
On the front of the ship.
It's probably a beak left, right, from this thing, a giant kind of beak.
And the eye is still affixed to the capstan.
Yeah. So does Sorn share what he saw in his nightmares that were probably scary for a bit, but then he kind of overcame them? And does he describe, or do you want to describe for us how you overcame that?
Yeah, it was weird. Never had that before. I tried to do my nightly trance, as you all have seen me do many times before. But it was just uneasy. I could hear in the back of my mind skittering feet, which is not a great sound. But it faded after a while. And yeah, I don't know. I was able to get some rest, but very alarming.
Skittering feet of a beast?
Very large skittering feet. Very, very scary things. Do you by chance know what a drider is?
As if it's not a sea creature, I'm afraid I probably don't.
Alright, you're out.
Yama definitely knows of Lolth. But not much else, definitely.
Well, a drider is what happens to a drow when Lolth sinks her claws in.
Well, you definitely walk a sharp and narrow path, my friend, between the realms of evil and good.
That's not Lolth. That's fine. It'll never happen to me.
And yet, it seems to be what you fear.
Oh, yes, no. Lolth, terrifying. We shall call them Legion. Also terrifying. They're half Arachni, half Drow? So imagine 8 legs.
Ooh.
Quite tall. I believe. Never seen one up close, but they've haunted me since I was a child.
I think anything
Imagine
with
8 to 10 feet tall.
Mm.
Drow body on top. Some real scary shit.
I think
And,
anything with 8. I think anything with 8 limbs or well.
Yeah.
Wait.
Don't like that.
I think anything with 8 of anything like that is not a good thing. And Karu is
Actually-
thinking of like krakens with like 8 tentacles.
Yeah.
And it's just like
I see some similarities.
bad number.
At this point, is Pauly around while we are describing this?
Sure. Yeah.
Would Pauly not recognize what I'm describing?
Yeah. So if you sort of stop at any moment, or give him the opportunity to chime in, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, we saw some. It's like Dinah, like imagine you, but scarier and with even more legs. So it's like big abdomen, big spine. Like I didn't even think about it now. Just spiders, even this big. Don't like them. These things huge, big as a horse, big as a rothe, and then the worst part, the ugliest part, a bloody drow on the front. Like it's just right there, right at the top, looking down on you, giving it its little skittering feet, and like Sorn, buddy. I get your culture, your people. I don't want to offend, but it just doesn't do it for me, And when I saw that in the mines, just it gave me the heebie-jeebies. We fought a guy under the town of Phandelver, Phandalin, one of those, and we kicked his ass so hard that Lolth herself came up from the darkness and turned that bitch into one of these creatures. And it was there was like 10 of us it took us like 10 of us to kill him. We had a guy who was worth about 4 guys that helped us cut this thing down. I would not want to be one-on-one. I would not want to be left in a room alone with one of these. It's woof. Yeah. Wow. I mean, krakens, handle it. Drows, handle them. Spiders, handle them. When you combine them, no shot.
Terrifying stuff. But I did get some rest in. How are you, Karu? You're not looking too crash hot there.
Nope, I did not sleep. I am not a happy camper right now.
What tea have you brewed, Yama? Or were you offering for Katie to roll the dice on what brew it is?
I'm going to leave it until Katie decides to drink the tea. So maybe on your inventory you could just mark 1 experimental Yama tea in a thermos. And when you do come to it, I believe it's 1d6 to decide what happens.
Oh, okay. Do you sort of explain that? Because like Karu would have just drunk the tea, but if you're like, oh no, this is like a special thing.
Yeah, I think he's like, I really want you to hold on to this for another moment. Maybe perhaps the next moment when you're feeling weak or at odds with something, or there is a challenge before you.
Okay, I will. Thank you. And he puts it carefully in his backpack.
Cool. All right, so as you crest around the corner of one of the islands, you venture out into the deeper sea, past the island of Verdant, into some more smaller islands and beyond. The wetlands of the island ahead of you appear first as a strip of dark green on the horizon. As you approach, you see brief dashes of bone-colored dunes interrupting dark green curtains, short trees, mangroves, palms, and great leaves, fruit-bearing trees all, standing before taller, thinner conifers and globe-shaped other trees. Roots bulge out in figure eights, lighter green epithets cling to the branches of logwood, orchids snake up motionlessly from the ground. The longer you look on the horizon, the more activity buzzes into view. The beady eyes of turtles regard you from deep within the green. Insects swarm, making miniature grey tornadoes in the afternoon sun. Their eyes reflecting blue and green. Whenever you get close, you can hear distant animals snuffling in the undergrowth. It's a scene both lively and still. In a cove just off the coast, you can see a large ship. At last, the Porvenir pulls into view. The ship of the line gleams in the noon sun, gigantic and pristine. It sits on the water, somehow safely anchored close to a rocky cliff and not far from a small sandy beach. You see no other vessels nearby. And that is, I think, where we'll end it for this week.
Exciting.
Nice.
And this is...
There we are.
There you go.
The ship.
Yeah, and that's what we'll pick up next week, I think. Once we have Captain Pauly back in action. Hopefully.
I'm really
Nice.
curious to see whether we beat everybody else here.
Yeah. I wonder how good that hole in the hull actually went.
Well, it was 5 days journey, so
True, actually, yeah.
yeah. How cool.
All right. Anything else? Anything you all need to say or promote or anything like that before we log off for this week?
Nope, that is just it.
It's that Katie's being worked to the bone, so hopefully we'll get them back next week. All, you know... Well, I don't think you're really not busy until November, right? And even
Not busy until... Yeah, I'm not busy until November's over.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, we'll do our best to keep these sessions short. I think a good 7 till 9 is hopefully a good amount of time for everyone. And we'll be back next week. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Obviously, the donations to Beyond Blue every session this month. Obviously, we're raising money for Beyond Blue, as is Raging Rolls and Split the Party. So obviously, you can go to the link. I'll drop that in the chat to continue donating. I misspelt charity, so someone else will have to repair that for me whilst I keep talking. Thanks again, O'Sullivan, Cait, Fireworks, obviously chatting there in the chat. Woo, someone got it. Thank you very much for covering me there.
Gotcha.
And hanging out with us. Obviously, the gifted subs mostly valued as well.
Thank you for the inspiration.
Yeah, came in very handy. Well, not for Karu. Karu is still screwed, but yeah.
I was like, I rolled a 1. I need to live with that. Not take any inspiration for that.
Absolutely. All right, we'll go and we'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.